Are you looking for a neighborhood that's really walkable, has a great nightlife, great restaurants, amazing sun, maybe easy access to the freeway and a couple of parks? Today I'm going to walk you around Hayes Valley, show you everything that there is to offer here. We've been getting a lot of calls lately from 30-somethings that have been talking about Hayes Valley, and what they're talking about is this whole AI revolution that's maybe starting in Hayes Valley. So I call these like living room startups. And I'm not talking about like Anthropic or OpenAI. I'm talking about like a couple of friends that are getting together, starting something in their living room. You know, maybe they're actually renting a space, they're living there and working there. We actually see this really commonly all over San Francisco, but what I'm hearing is that it's happening more in Hayes Valley than in other neighborhoods. But does that mean that if you live here, you're gonna be surrounded by 30-somethings in Patagonia jackets and nobody else? Actually, that's not the case. There's actually a wide range of people who live here, all different ages, all different socioeconomic classes. And today I'm gonna show you why they like to live here. So right now I'm walking down Linden Street. It's a really cool street. You've got some street art here. You've got a couple of little shops. There's a Blue Bottle Coffee up in front of me. This is a cute little lingerie shop as well. And one of the things I like about Hayes Valley is that it has a lot of little startups. I think this Blue Bottle was the first Blue Bottle before it was big. Now it's like a big company, but I think this was kind of their opening, which is just like, basically looks like it's out of a garage, essentially. It's really very, very cute. Up behind me is Patricia Green's, and I'm gonna walk you up there and show you some of the other things that Hayes has to offer. And if you enjoy videos like this one, I'm gonna be back here every Monday at 5 p.m. So here on Linden Street, there's an eyeglasses place over here, just kind of off of a side street. And there was a bra shop and a corset fitting shop. This is another little boutique, Claire V, that I'm walking past here. We've got a Rivian on the other side of the street. I'm sure you guys have heard of the new electric car company that's maybe giving Tesla a little bit of run for its money. Those cars look super, super cool. And then I'm headed up to Patricia Green's, which we're gonna find a playground for kids. But before we get there, I'm passing over Wilding Shoes. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. This is a shipping container that's been converted, and they're selling some really nice shoes out of the container. And there's several shipping containers around. Hey, how's it going? Good. What's going on with your shoes?
Well, it's a minimalist shoe designed to be natural for your body. Super, super comfortable. Highly recommend trying it out.
Awesome. They look really cool. And you guys started here, I think, right?
We did.
This is your first shop?
Yes, this is our first shop here in the United States. The company itself was founded in Germany. But yeah, we've been here for a year now. Absolutely love it. And the community is amazing as well. So happy to be here.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
One of my favorite things about San Francisco is actually kind of like the innovation that is what makes San Francisco. So having a shoe company like that, that's like, hey, I'm going to start like a shoe company out of a shipping container. It's like a very San Francisco thing. Over here on the other side, we've got some handmade goods selling right out of this Airstream. So very kind of cool, different. And then back behind here, you see there's a beer garden here. This is like super cool because there's all these like outdoor tables. So it's a Sunday afternoon, not a whole lot happening here, but if you came here on a Friday or Saturday night, you'd see this place is super packed. Across here, we have a little kids play area. There's the structure here. The cool thing about this spot is like, it's right in the middle of everything. So if you wanted to grab an ice cream, grab a coffee, grab a juice. There's like all these different places that you can get a little something to eat with your friends, come here, hang out in the green, and just, as you can see, there's a ton of people out here enjoying a pretty nice winter day in San Francisco. So here we have an ice cream company. I think it used to be a different company where they made it in front of you and like froze it. It was kind of crazy, but I think it's changed. And then Ritual is another local San Francisco company. So back here we have the juice company where you can come get some fresh juices. And then this is kind of just an open air area where they have like people working out here. There's more of those shipping containers where you have like multiple stores being, selling clothing out of them. So it's very hip. And then you can see here, there's this big screen here. So actually they do movies here in the summer on that big screen. So it feels very happening in terms of, I have to say, like, in terms of neighborhoods in San Francisco, we don't have a ton of nightlife, but I would say this neighborhood is probably one of the more happening ones for nightlife. So right now I'm gonna walk you up Hayes Street. This is kind of one of the main strips in Hayes Valley, but there's actually a lot of the restaurants and bars and stuff are kind of spread out between Hayes, Goff, which we'll walk down, even Franklin, and it's all very, very close together. It's a very, very small neighborhood, and flat. So super easy to walk around kind of anywhere without hitting any hills or anything like that. But one of the downsides is that parking over here is not that easy. So if you're looking for a place, you probably do want to have a parking spot that comes with that place. Couple of favorites, we're gonna pass two really great places right now. Paxie's, this is a deep dish Chicago style pizza, really, really good. And then next up we have Solva. And if you like Greek ice cream that's a little bit sour, they have the best one, I think, in the city. I like a very, very sour Greek ice cream, and the one at Solva is really, really good. It's a great place to get like sandwiches, salads, that sort of thing. This is my favorite sheet company, Brooklinen. They're really good. There's two really good sheet companies on this street, Brooklinen and then also Parachute, that has really great towels as well.
And the best camera shops in the world.
Oh, best camera shop.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, this one. Okay. So Landry, my videographer, says this is the best camera shop in the city, which is Peak Design. So if you're looking for some camera gear, I guess that's where it's at. I don't know about camera gear, but he does. So you've got a lot going on this street. There's also a travel store where you can get some really great luggage and kind of like anything that you could need for traveling. Okay, so we're gonna be coming up on one of the first places I wanted to show you in terms of giving you an example of what things cost here. We're gonna step up to the Hayes. There's actually been a lot of like new developments in Hayes Valley in terms of like kind of some small boutique buildings. This is one of my favorites. Some are bigger than others, some are fancier than others, and some are a little bit more generic. I'd say there's a really wide range in terms of quality and price point on some of the buildings here. All of the buildings that have been developed here are all modern. And you do have, the old school stuff that's in Hayes Valley is gonna be Victorians, Edwardians, that sort of thing. And there's a lot of that to choose from as well. But the Hayes, which is across the street here. So this building was built a few years ago. I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago. It's one of my favorites in the neighborhood. It's also going to be slightly more expensive than some of the other choices. There was just this unit here that sold for around $1.6 million. Is a penthouse unit, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. And as you can see, the ceilings are a bit higher here. This is an amazing location, obviously, where you're just walking right down to where everything is. I would say the level of finishes here were really, really good. Also, you have in-unit laundry, which of course I think is a must in a condo. You have some floor-to-ceiling windows, so you're getting lots of light. And then you have a private outdoor space, but you're also getting a shared roof deck here as well. All right, so I'm just gonna walk you around a little bit and show you some more of the flat streets around here. One of the things that you'll notice in Hayes Valley is there's actually a really wide range of like socioeconomic classes here. You've got, across the street from me right here, there's actually some low-income housing that's mixed in. You also have on the other end of the spectrum, I'm gonna walk by and show you the neighborhood has the San Francisco Symphony, they have the Opera House, and they have SF Jazz. So mixed in, you're going to find people who are just getting things going in San Francisco. And then you've got, kind of like the hoity-toity people that are coming here to watch the symphony. So you have a really nice mix of people here. I would say the hoity-toity people coming to watch the symphony, they don't live here more than likely, the majority of them, but they are coming to the neighborhood to eat, to hang out before the symphony. There were 88 units that were sold in Hayes Valley last year, and of those, only 8 of them were single family homes. So the vast majority of inventory here is going to be condos, which means that, you know, this is a great place to start out. Like, you can actually get a condo. Granted, it's going to be like a studio or 1 bedroom, but as low as like $550,000 to $700,000, which is a great entry-level price. So that price point rivals Soma or like the Civic Center Strip that has that kind of entry-level price point. But I think personally that this neighborhood is like way cooler than either of those in terms of just kind of having everything. So let me show you a little bit more. If you like what you're seeing here, we're gonna be back every Monday at 5 p.m. with another video like this one. All right, let's go look around. So coming up here, we have Octavia Street. And Octavia Street is one of the busier streets. One thing I would say about Hayes Valley is in the small concentration of this neighborhood, there are more busy streets than anywhere in San Francisco. And when I say busy, I mean busy. Like, so Octavia, Gough Street, Franklin Street, they are very busy. In fact, Octavia ends up being the on-ramp to get onto the freeway, which is actually one of the things that's gonna make this neighborhood great. Because if you're in tech and you need to get down to the South Bay, you literally like just get right on this on-ramp and you're on the freeway. Now, comparing that to some other neighborhoods that we've talked about before that also have easy access to the freeway, the downside to Hayes Valley is that this particular on-ramp is busy. So it gets really clogged up and congested there. Whereas if you go a little further down, like into Noe Valley, and you're getting on the freeway there, it's not quite as crazy. So there's a really cool wine bar across the street here. I was waiting there the other day for my son to get done with an appointment and had a nice glass of wine. They have a lot of organic wines. They also have, this was kind of caught me off guard, but they have like all these tinned fish. So like sardines, but like in a high-end way that they sell. I don't know, very, very, very interesting. And then we're coming up next onto Gough Street. Gough Street is really busy and it has a couple of really fantastic restaurants. So one of my very favorite restaurants, which is maybe like a block or 2 up that way, is called Robin, and it's omakase style sushi. It is so good, you guys. Like, so the best sushi, probably one of my very favorite restaurants in the entire city. So I love that. So if you're in the area, don't miss that. So also coming up here, there's a restaurant called Rich Table, which is a Michelin star restaurant and really, really good. They do seasonal pastas that change, really good cocktails. So definitely some great places to eat in the neighborhood. Additionally, up here on the left, we have a restaurant called Absinthe, which is really good. It's a French style bar and restaurant. It's been there forever, as long as I can remember. So I'm gonna turn here on Ivy. I'm just gonna show you another one of these like very small streets. Ivy is a building, this is the Ivy that I'm walking by. And this is a new development. I think it's like 10 years old at this point, but 300 Ivy. There's some great condos in there. You've got basically condos on both sides of the street on this little alleyway. And you know, all these like beautiful tree lines. It's fall here. We don't get a lot of fall in San Francisco, but look how beautiful this is. So you've got these beautiful flat streets with really, really pretty trees on this particular one. Ivy, when it first went on the market, I mean, this kind of goes to show how much the market has changed in San Francisco. It was crazy, you guys. They have never seen this done before or since. They basically did this thing where they made people register for a wait list, and then they would draw names supposedly as like a lottery to see whether or not you could buy their units. I'm sure they could only wish that they were selling that well now, because the condo market has definitely softened a bit. Going back to prices on condos, you're looking at about $1,000 a square foot for condos. The single family homes are actually going to cost quite a bit more. They're going to be around $1,450 a square foot. And part of the reason why is because for a small single family, because the average size is around 2,000 square feet, it's actually going to push that price per square foot up a bit. And so, you know, with there only being like 8 to 10 of them here that are selling per year. You know, usually when people are looking in this neighborhood for a single family, they're probably looking in a couple other neighborhoods as well, like Noe Valley, Eureka Valley, DuBose Triangle, like kind of the surrounding areas. So they're wanting to be here a lot for, you know, the things that we've talked about, but also like the proximity to get around. It's very centrally located, which is a huge draw. Really good weather as well, you guys. So it's definitely got like all of the things that make a neighborhood really attractive in San Francisco. Okay, so as you can see, this is a really busy street. This is Gough. It's like one of the arteries for the city. And one of the things to know is that if you're looking for a way to get a really good deal, buying something on a really busy street is definitely going to give you a little better price. So there are opportunities in the neighborhood to be on some of these offshoot streets, but if you want the best price, then being on a busy street is definitely the way to go. This is Chez Mama that we're walking by right now. It's a French restaurant. I think the original location was actually in Potrero Hill. It's a really solid choice for some French food. And Landry says the best beignet in the city. Okay, and those absinthe that I mentioned earlier. And you still have all these outdoor dining areas. These are a leftover from COVID, but look how cute. I'm so glad they got to keep these. I mean, it's kind of a downside when it comes to parking in the city, and Hayes Valley is definitely a challenging place to park, but it's really nice to be able to have the ability to get a few more tables at restaurants and get a great table to eat at. So we're headed down towards Franklin, and basically you have Gough running one way and Franklin running the other. Really, really busy streets. And then in Hayes Valley, you actually have multiple busy streets, Oak Street, Fell Street, that run through the city. So 4 of the busiest streets plus Octavia, that makes 5, all running through this area. So it definitely feels busy for San Francisco. Okay, so we're crossing over Franklin right now, which as you can see, it's very, very busy. It is always busy, but the worst times are kind of like, I'd say 8 to 10 and 3 to 5. I have to go this direction to drop my son and pick him up from school, and it's like, I hate it. And he's asked me, he's like, Mom, can we just go on a different street? It's like, not really. I mean, there's Van Ness too, but it's equally as busy. So coming up here on the right, we have the Symphony, and it looks like they might be having a little holiday show as well. And, you know, so now we're headed down towards Van Ness, and we have City Hall, Landry trying not to get ran over. So lots of like really beautiful buildings down here, but very busy. I'll be honest, it's actually pretty hard to do a video with all of this stuff happening. So give me a like if you like this stuff. I'm out here for you. But City Hall, I love City Hall. It's such a beautiful building. I kind of have a dream of eloping there, but I'm already married. So I guess maybe for my second marriage, it'll be there. Okay, and then I'm just gonna walk you down Van Ness. You can see Van Ness is also really busy. And one of the things about Hayes Valley, you know, not only is it centrally located, but not far from Hayes Valley, like kind of a few blocks from here, there's an entrance to the BART station. So, you know, being able to have like easy access to the freeway plus easy access to BART is actually really fantastic for getting around. Like it would be super, super easy to live in Hayes Valley without a car. And if you don't have a garage, you probably want to. There's been a lot of buildings that have come up around Van Ness, and actually quite a bit of building that's happened in Hayes Valley in general. So you've got like 8 Octavia, which is on the freeway on-ramp. That's a building that is newer. You have the Ivy that I showed you. There's one on Fulton, 555 Fulton, the Hayes. So quite a few new construction, and there's a lot of differences between them. So, you know, happy to like help you figure out like which one of those buildings are best for you depending on your budget and that sort of thing. Little too much to go into in this video. Across the street here is the Opera House. I'm gonna be honest, I've actually never been to the Opera House. Maybe I should go. Sometimes when I do these videos, I'm like, why haven't I done that thing? I have been to the Symphony. I've been lucky enough to be invited by some business colleagues and stuff that invited to like wine and dine me. So I've been to opening night of Symphony, and wow, it is like opening night is like, it is like nothing I've ever seen before. I mean, San Francisco is like not a place where people get super dressed up on the regular. In fact, you guys, I went to a Google party the other day, and I think it looked to me like people got out of bed in their pajamas and came to their holiday party. Like, I kid you not. So in general, like, people are very underdressed in the city, I guess, unless you go to the Symphony. And then I felt, despite my effort, very out of place, to be honest. So I haven't been to this restaurant. It used to be the Grove, and it's super cute inside. I'm sure it looks like the same. But anyway, coming up here, we have SF Jazz. So SF Jazz is really cool, and don't worry if you're not like a jazz person. They actually have like funk, you know, I don't know, world vibes, like kind of all different kinds of music. And it's a super cool venue in that they have a lot of different sized venues within inside. So like their biggest venue, I think, seats about 700 people, but they have some smaller ones. So it's like pretty intimate place to see some music, and it's like high end but not so high end that it's stuffy. So I feel like, you know, you always feel fine being in there, and it's a really cool place to catch a show. And actually I've taken my kids there, so all ages can go to the shows there, which is pretty cool. So I am going to show you a single family home in the neighborhood. I'm gonna walk by and show you the inside of it. But before I do that, I'm gonna show you one of my favorite kind of, like, I think, hidden gems of a restaurant in Hayes Valley. It's one of my favorites, and it's coming up. Also up here, check out the artwork on this building. I have to say, this is one of the things about San Francisco. I mean, that's kind of startling with a baby holding a gun. But this is one of the things about San Francisco that I love, is that they have just a lot of art on the buildings, like throughout. Lander, if you turn around, there's another one behind you there, just that whole alleyway of art. So it's just kind of a cool thing about living here, is that there's all these like little surprises, and this one with the baby and the gun, that's pretty new. I didn't see that until the other day. I'm not sure when they put that up. So coming up here across the street is RT Rotisserie. They have two locations in the city. There's this one, and then there's another one over in Nopa, which, you guys, is not very far from here. And the reason why that's important is because that means the park is not very far from here. So getting to Golden Gate Park is just a really quick drive right down Fell, and you're in the Panhandle and then in the park. So if you want to go out for a quick run or just enjoy the park, like, the park is phenomenal. But RT Rotisserie, this place, so it's actually the same owner as Rich Table, and Rich Table is up here on Goff, and it's a Michelin star restaurant that I mentioned earlier. This place is more like really good salads. So they have this one salad that I order a lot, and it's probably not very healthy, but it is so good. It has like, if you get the pork one, it's more like, the pork is more like, I think it's more like bacon, but oh my God, you guys, it is bomb. And the dressing, I don't know what they do to the dressing, but it's so good. We're actually passing right here the International School, French International School campus. So that's a private school here in the city. And I definitely have clients that live in this neighborhood because of the proximity to this school. So being able to like walk their kid to school is awesome. I think for high school they have an IB program, and then it's I don't know if they still call it French International on the K through 8 or if it's just international. Okay, so we are gonna head up to Waller Street, and I'm gonna show you a house. All right, so now we're on Octavia, which is, guess what, you guys? Another really busy street. So this one I mentioned, it's the on-ramp for the freeway, and there used to actually be like a real freeway here, like that was, you know, with an overpass. I think they took it down, don't quote me on this, but I think it came down the same time that the freeway, after the '89 earthquake, when they also took the freeway down on the Embarcadero. If you look at some older pictures of San Francisco, you'll see it. I have to say, like, so much nicer without like overpasses. We have a couple, very few in San Francisco, but somehow they've redesigned it to make mostly not have overpasses around the city. I mean, they block the sun. They actually, unfortunately, are a great place for, you know, sometimes unhoused people end up like camping out underneath of them. So anyway, just to have everything opened up and sunny and bright is much better. So this is Paige. And Paige, I think it used to be another really busy street. So it was like a way to get down really quickly to Octavia. Now you can only take Oak, and now it's a slow street. So look how nice and quiet it is. So, and as you can see, like the architecture over here is like quite beautiful. So you've got all of these old Victorians, Edwardians, and it's so quiet. And you've got these nice trees. So I just love, love, love this architecture. So this is gonna be a good street for you to keep your eye out on. And you can see one of the single family homes in the neighborhood. There's mostly these, I see double doors. So they're gonna be condo buildings. But I did see a single family home across the street there. Look at this paint job, oh my God. It's so beautiful, so, so pretty. I love that. Okay, so right now I'm gonna pass by the Zen Center, which is right here in Hayes Valley. Funny story, I like to read a lot. And I recently read this book called Breathe. If you haven't read it, you should totally read it. It's all talking about like how you should breathe through your nose and not your mouth and all the amazing things that come with that. But there were all these stories about all these like places that you could go and these, you know, San Francisco hippie little retreats, and one of them was like, actually I think it was right on the street. I think it's still open, where you can go and like do all these breathing exercises. It's funny, like with a lot of these books, you know, a lot of them are right here in San Francisco, where they're doing all of this research on breathing and psychedelics and all kinds of fun things. I mean, it's just, I think, an area where people's minds are very open and interested in kind of countercultures and different ways of thinking and ways of hacking into like better productivity, better well-being, that sort of thing. So that's one of the things I love about San Francisco. Okay, I'm on Buchanan because I'm walking a ways. I didn't take you guys all on my walk, where I was not breathing through my nose the entire time. But there's a nice little community park up here. I've never been in this park. I mean, this is kind of one of the cool things about San Francisco. You know, you probably wouldn't go in this park unless you lived here, and then you're just like walking over here with your kids and enjoying, you know, a little piece of green space. Not everybody has a yard, and even if they do, sometimes, I don't know, it's just like not ideal. But this is a great little spot to bring your kids, hang out, probably meet some, you know, other parents in the community and get a little bit of views of the city. So I love like stumbling on this sort of stuff as I'm making these videos for you guys. Okay, so I'm over on Waller Street, which I'm like really close to Market. And I'll be honest with you guys, I've been selling real estate for 16 years. And when I was doing this script, I was like, that is not Hayes Valley. So it can be a little bit confusing on where's what. To me, this feels a lot more like Lower Haight than it feels like Hayes Valley. When I think of Hayes Valley, I think of the areas that I was showing you first, where it's like, this is a bit of a walk down there. It's not far, but I think if I was up here, I probably would be walking more to like the Castro or kind of the Market Strip, you know, like DuBose Triangle, that sort of thing. I mean, I may walk down to Hayes Valley, but it's just not what I would think of as my first like walkable corridor. But as I mentioned, single family homes are a little hard to come by, and I wanted to show you kind of an average one, like something. So this one here, 261 Waller. Okay, so this house closed earlier this year, and I think this is kind of what you could think of as getting as like kind of an average home in the area. It closed for around $2.6 million. And as you can see, like when you walk in, you walk down kind of this like shotgun corridor area, and off to the left, you have a living room. And then what used to be a double parlor was changed into a bedroom. And that's gonna be super, super common in San Francisco, right? Like when space is really, really tight and you're in kind of an entry-level price, you don't have room for 2 living rooms. You're just like, what I really need is another bedroom or another office. So often in these price points, like below about $4 million, that double parlor is gonna be converted into some sort of living room area. But it was really, really nicely finished. They kept a lot of the original details intact. So really high ceilings. You see the beautiful fireplace here that's very pretty. And one of the best things I think about this house is actually the backyard. So it's accessible off of the dining room area. And then look how big it is. It is so, so big. And then another thing that's really common in San Francisco is that you convert these like garage areas into living space. So as you can see down below, they have kind of a space that's like maybe not quite as nice as the upstairs, a little lower ceilings, a little bit less level of finishes, but they've turned this into kind of a livable space down here off of the garage. So this is what you're gonna see for, the 2.6 price point, around $1,400, $1,500 a square foot in the neighborhood. All right, so that pretty much concludes our tour of Hayes Valley. And as you can see, there's a lot of nuances in the streets, and that goes for all neighborhoods. So my team and I have helped over 1,000 families move within San Francisco or to San Francisco from other areas. And really, if you're not working with a real estate agent that's doing like 2 transactions a week so that they can really, really learn all of these nuances, you're missing out. So if you have any questions about anything that I covered or didn't cover today, please feel free to reach out. My team and I would love to help you. And if you found this video helpful and you'd like to walk through another one of San Francisco's best streets, check out this neighborhood right here.